What is up, guys? It is Will Sports, and today I'm going to be talking about the Baltimore Ravens. They played the Pittsburgh Steelers this weekend, and the game was very low scoring. It felt like an old-fashioned type of game. I didn't necessarily think it was great defense being played, though, just bad offense by both sides. Well, there was some good defense being played, but it was a lot of just bad offense, drops, miscommunications, inaccurate throws, bad play calling. It was a lot of stuff like that. But I'm going to talk about the Ravens because the Ravens are a team coming into the year that I had very high expectations for because I thought finally that they figured out something with the receiving core. I didn't think they had the best receiving core in the NFL, but I thought that they had an above average receiving core that could really take Lamar in this Ravens offense to somewhat of another level. Because I knew their running game was going to be good because you have Lamar. They did lose J.K. Dobbins for the year, but even with just Lamar, you're going to have a solid rushing attack because of all the rushing that he does. But this offense is not really panned out so far. Right now, they're ranking 25th in passing offense at 189 yards per game. There's been numerous opportunities for receivers to catch balls. In this last game, they dropped 7 balls. So Mark Andrews had 3 drops, Zay Flowers had 2, Nelson Aguilar had 1, and Rashad Bateman had 1. To add on to that, you've had injuries. OBJ was their big free agency signing. He's only played in 3 of their 5 games, and in those games, he has 7 receptions for 79 yards. So he's been a major disappointment. Rashad Bateman has had a down year. The only receivers that have been good for them are Andrews, Flowers, and Aguilar. But all those guys, are still having their moments of not creating separation, not catching the ball. And it's causing problems for this Ravens offense. This team runs the ball really well. Like I said, they're a very good rush offense. And they're an offense that in a few of their games has looked pretty solid. Against the Bengals, they looked pretty good. Against the Browns, they were able to move the ball when they wanted to. They were conservative at points in that game. They seem like a run first type of team, but I think the fact that the passing game has not really panned out so far is concerning because that is why we thought this Ravens team would be able to compete for the AFC. Before the season, I had them going to the Super Bowl. It was a bold prediction for sure, but I had Lamar winning MVP this year. And do I still think that could happen? 5 games in, I'm definitely less confident in that because the numbers just aren't there. He only has 4 touchdowns on the season so far, at least through the air. Now, he has a lot of rushing touchdowns, so maybe the numbers would have to significantly increase over the next, however many weeks. And with the way the passing game has looked, I just don't know. And they brought in a new OC in Todd Monken, who was supposed to come and open up this, this offense and make them more of a passing team. And I don't even think it's necessarily his fault. I mean, there were wide open receivers in this game that just dropped balls. You had Zay Flowers have a wide open deep ball that Lamar delivered to him on point, and he just fell down. He lost his footing. He didn't catch the ball. And there's just a lot of stuff like that so far this year. In this game against the Steelers, you were playing a team that was 26th against the pass coming in. And in this game, there were so many opportunities because the Steelers' offense is just atrocious. So the Ravens, the entire game, even though they were playing so bad, I never thought they were going to lose the game. So when they actually managed to lose it, I was just like, dang, I mean, you choked this game away because the Steelers had a muff punt that gave the Ravens literally basically a red zone, chance to score, and they didn't take advantage of it because they kept trying to pass the ball instead of just run it. And right now with this passing offense, it's just not smart. And OBJ ran a bad route on the ball that Lamar threw. It was a back shoulder throw to the side of the end zone. And OBJ was matched up against Joey Porter, who's been one of the best, rookie corners. Him and Christian Gonzalez, Devon Witherspoon. Those 3 have been the 3 best so far. So it just was not a good decision to make the throw by Lamar. I will say that. It wasn't a good route by OBJ. It looked like he might have just not ran it the right way, or he went too far outside, and Lamar and him had some miscommunication. Joey Porter made the interception. Joey Porter was amazing in this game, by the way, but this is not a good Steelers secondary outside of Joey Porter for the most part. So this is a team that the Ravens should have been able to get some yards on, and they just weren't. Well, they had 236 passing yards, but it just was not an efficient, effective passing offense because guys weren't catching the ball. And this is a Ravens team for years that we've been talking about. They need to get the receiver spot, taken, because this is a team that's only had 2,000-yard receivers in Lamar's tenure. Mark Andrews and Hollywood Brown. And the draft picks over the years just have not panned out. Zay Flowers, Hollywood Brown, Devin Duvernay, James Prochet, Miles Boykin. A lot of these guys just have not turned into what they wanted. And Hollywood Brown, I thought he was pretty solid. I never understood why they let him go, because I thought, he was one of their only 1,000-yard receivers. He was one of the only receivers that was very productive, but this offense just continues to disappoint so far, and I feel for Lamar because I'm so sick of the national media putting all this on Lamar and acting like he's not a good passer because they box score watch and they don't really look at what's happening in the games. Like, he's delivering good balls to his receivers and they're not catching it. And guys aren't getting open the way they need to, and it's causing problems for the offense. I don't even know if he trusts his receivers as much as he probably would have to start the year, because it's been several games now. Now, I don't think they rank atop the league in drops. The Kansas City Chiefs take that category, but Lamar is still been very accurate, and guys just aren't helping him out. And there was 3 touchdown passes in this game that guys dropped. And Lamar, on shows like First Take and all these different media outlets, they're going to say, oh, well, Lamar needs to be better. He needs to be more efficient. I mean, Lamar has been having a good year. He's been completing, he was completing like 70% of his passes, 70+% of his passes coming into this game. He was doing a really good job the first 4 games, dishing the ball out. But this offense, like I said, it's not explosive like like it needs to be. This is an offense that we thought could be very explosive coming into the year, or at least be more explosive than it's been, because they brought in, drafted Zay Flowers. Zay Flowers has been overall solid. I think he's a solid rookie wide receiver. They brought in OBJ, who was supposed to be their number 1, and he just has been hurt and not playing and not effective when he is playing. It's like is he washed, or is it just the injuries? I don't know, but it's like we're gonna need more consistency from him, because that was a big pickup. That was something they were really banking on, and he just has not panned out. And this is just a offense that looks similar to what it's been looking like for years. It's a run-first offense, and they're gonna have to lean on the run game to be able to win games, and they're gonna have to lean on that defense. Now, luckily, I haven't really talked about their defense. Their defense has been stellar. They rank 2nd in yards per game, 3rd in pass yards per game, 2nd in sacks, 2nd in opponents' points per game. They've been stellar defensively, and that's what's really keeping them in games or winning them games. Against the Texans, didn't have a great offensive game. It was really just a game where J.K. Dobbins was pretty good in that game and ran the ball well. They had a good rushing attack. They won the game, and their running back room is still pretty solid even without J.K. Dobbins. So that's not a concern. But this defense has been doing a great job. And you have guys like Roquan Smith and Patrick Queen on your D-line, Kyle Hamilton and Marlon Humphrey in your secondary. They've been very good this season and been a very stingy defense. And Baltimore, that's no surprise, because that's what their entire culture is based on. As a defense, that's got to be frustrating to see guys, continuously not doing what they need to do, especially against a Steelers team that is just not that good. That's a game you should win handily. And the opportunities were there, and the Ravens just would not take advantage of it. I think Lamar, as far as him, I do think, like I said, the back shoulder throw, the decision to make that end zone throw was probably not great. And I think this is a red zone offense has been solid too. So that was not characteristic of the Ravens, but the Ravens usually run the ball in the red zone when they get near the goal line, because they have such a good rushing attack. You might as well. And their offensive line has been pretty solid at run blocking. So I would think you just, run the ball in right there. But it's a learning experience for this Ravens team. It's still early in the season, but am I buying them as a contender, as a true contender in the AFC right now? Based off what I've seen through 5 weeks, I can't. I wouldn't take them over Kansas City, Miami, Buffalo. I wouldn't take them over Jacksonville. I wouldn't take them over any of those teams. It sucks because, like I said, I like Lamar. Lamar is my favorite player in the NFL. And I had him winning MVP. I had the Ravens making the Super Bowl. Yeah, they ranked 25th in passing offense. So this team can become better than that. They're going to need more continuity. They're going to need more chemistry building. So that means guys staying healthy and being in the lineup because Bateman's missed some time. OBJ's missed a few games, like I said. The only guys that have been consistently there are, Flowers, Aguilar, and Andrews. So Lamar, I think, will figure this receiving core out a little more as season progresses, but how much will they figure it out? I don't know. And Tom Monken, he wants to open up this passing game. He wants to make this Ravens team more explosive. At Georgia, he ran a lot of play action and a lot of stuff like that. I would like to maybe see a little more motion in this offense, see some that will, get defenses off guard. But when you have a guy like Lamar, I can't write them off. He's 48-18 in his career in the regular season. So Lamar is a guy that he's going to still win games. So I'm not worried about this team making the playoffs. It's just the playoffs is literally what the Ravens this season's about, because you paid Lamar, and I don't think Lamar has been bad. I think Lamar has carried, to be honest. I just think the situation around him, the guys around him on his receiver core got to be better. OBJ still a talented receiver. Is he a number one anymore? Probably not. But he's still a guy that on a given night can be a tough matchup for anybody. Zay Flowers has shown flashes already. Mark Andrews is one of the best tight ends in the NFL. So they have some guys on this receiving core that can make some stuff happen. But they gotta be healthy, and they gotta execute better. And the mental aspect of catching the ball, that's literally it. Because Lamar has been dropping some dimes this year. His passing has been very stellar. But I'm not buying this team right now as a top AFC team just because I'm not seeing the explosiveness in the offense that I thought. But they're going to be a tough out just because of the defense and Lamar's legs. So they're going to still be competitive, but I just need to see more in this offense. Now, their next 5 games, the Titans in Linden. That's a game they should win. The Titans aren't a good pass defense either. But they do stop the run really well. So, it's going to be interesting to see if the Ravens can get their passing game going there. And it's not an explosive offense, so I think it should be a low scoring game for the most part. Lions at home. Lions are really good. I wouldn't be shocked if the Ravens beat them, but the Lions have certainly looked better to start the season. And they're a tough offense to stop. So, and we've seen them go into Arrowhead and go into Lambeau, so I would think they could go into Baltimore and maybe get a win too. So that's probably the toughest game in this stretch. They have the Cardinals on the road, should be a win. Seahawks at home, that's another 50-50, but I would favor the Ravens in that game just because they're at home. And then the Browns at home, they should win that game. Now, I know they beat the Browns a few weeks ago without Deshaun, but even with Deshaun, I just think they're a better they're a better team. And they have the much better quarterback, so I think they should win. The Browns' defense is elite, though, so that's a game I can see being very low scoring. But this is a schedule that's manageable over the next 5 games. They could go 4-1, 5-0 in that stretch, in my opinion, and be good. I'm rooting for Baltimore, though. I do hope that they turn it around because I like Lamar. I want to see Lamar win, and on the big stage, and I want to see this team, finally play well around him, because I feel like over the years it's just been the same issues with this passing game. Unreliable receivers, guys that can't get open, guys that can't catch, guys that can't make anything happen after the catch, guys that aren't that quick, that aren't shifty, that cannot do a lot for you offensively, as opposed to some other quarterbacks who have had, Pro Bowl receivers, like, Justin Herbert's had it, Patrick Mahomes has had it, Josh Allen's had it. All these guys have had top tier receivers. Joe Burrow's had it. Lamar has still not had that. So hopefully this team can turn it around. But yeah, I'm a little concerned for the Ravens when it comes to the playoffs. I think this team is going to have to be better in this passing game. We're going to have to see them let it loose a lot. I think the offense can't lose trust in the receivers. They still have to trust these receivers and just hope that these guys are going to get their A game going. You don't want to be a predictable vanilla offense, if you're the Ravens, that, it's not getting much going. But yeah, that's my thoughts on this. Let me know what you guys think down below. And yeah, it's been Will Sports. Peace.